on the jam goes ad infinitum as per usual. Hey folks, how you doing? Nick Jennison, it's the Monday Guitar Show. Welcome aboard. We're doing the thing that we do every Monday, which is hang out and talk about the guitar, but I'm guessing you probably already knew that. Let me just take a quick moment and check some settings because we're getting some little shaky stuff going on there. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Anyway, hey folks, welcome aboard. As previously mentioned, it's the Monday Guitar Show. We're doing the thing that we do on Mondays. We hang out, we chat about the guitar. Today, we're talking about why you may be having difficulty memorizing songs, or specifically remembering songs that you've learned. But of course, this is not limited to songs. This is something that goes across the board with guitar playing. Maybe you've learned a series of licks, or you've learned a solo, or maybe you've learned a set list for your band or whatever, and for whatever reason, it just does not stick in your head. It's something that is plaguing guitar players pretty much everywhere, right? We all suffer with this for a variety of reasons, and we're going to get into why over the course of today's stream. Of course, our objective is, as per usual, to make you, dear friend, a slightly better guitar player when you leave than you were when you arrived. Of course, I say that every week, but I got to tell you, right, we're getting some results, which makes me happy, right? I love to see you guys getting value out of these streams. It's the reason why we do it. So if you're new here, welcome on board. It's lovely to have you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, whichever channel you happen to be watching on. We do this across two channels. We do it across Lick Library and GuitarInteractiveMagazine.com. Do me a favor. I want to know, because we're not 100% sure here what the distribution is. Let me know in the comments which channel you're watching on. Are you watching on Lick Library or are you watching on Guitar Interactive? We want to know from you. Whichever channel you happen to be on, don't forget to hit the subscribe icon if you want more stuff. Go to licklibrary.com, this guy down here, for some lessons. Go to guitarinteractivemagazine.com for news, reviews, all of that good guitar lifestyle stuff. We're going to say some hellos, then we're going to get into the meat of today's stream. Even if you are not primarily driven by the urge to learn songs, fear not, we got some stuff for you today. But let's see some familiar faces in the comments. First of all, Timothy Appling was the first through the door. It is great to see you. PJ is here. Response Audio is in the house. Timothy Appling says, in reference to last week, I went to jam with some locals who gave me a song list to learn. After learning the songs, I found out they didn't play the entire song, mostly just choruses and verses, and not lead parts or riffs. If they played some lead, it wasn't even close to the original. If you're going to play lead, at least make it fit the song. If you can't play it right, or at least close. There's a skill in there, right? There's a skill in there. So with regards to jams, I think if you're just going to jam on a song, for me, all bets are off. You can kind of do whatever you want with that sort of stuff. If it's just like, oh, well, let's get together and have fun, that to me is in the spirit of musicians. Well, it's every jazz musician ever, let's say, you know, playing on standards. It's kind of how jazz came to be. But also, you know, it's quite commonplace to take something that everybody knows, you'll kind of jam around on it. Maybe you go, does everybody know Back in Black? And we'll jam Back in Black, whatever. But if you're performing, I feel like there's something different in terms of what you owe to your audience there. I think your audience is expecting a certain level of, if not authenticity, then definitely appropriateness as far as you're playing. So I can kind of agree with that. That's a whole skill set all unto itself, but definitely an interesting observation. Here's a great one from Marcin. Ah, the man. He says, I've created a Discord channel so we can have some kind of forum for our community of guitar players. Everyone is invited. Go join, right? Let me know if you can access the link. Marcin, get the link down below. It says here, when you click to join the Discord, the channel or server on Discord, just add whatever this is, M, capital T, capital H, capital M, capital K, double N, K at the end of the link, and it should work. YouTube chat blocks the links. Ah, right, okay. There we go. I see. Well, listen, we'll try and make that work because that's a great idea, man. Thank you so much for putting that together. I know it's something we've talked about for a while. I love to see you guys getting involved in this. This stream is as much yours as it is mine. So, hey, I love that you've done that. That is super, super cool. I'll be joining for sure. Who else do we have? Larry Warren is in the house. Sacred Godslayer is here. Crankatom says, hi all. Brilliant idea, Marcin. Can confirm. Nick Harrison's in the house. Nick, great to see you. Don't forget to post links to the Creative Guitar Performance Workshop. We want that. PJ says, Marcin, nice one. Hero of the day. Let me tell you. Helmet Straps here. Mark McNish is here. Franz is here. Rory Callon is here. Deb Van Dugen says, what day is it? I can't remember squat, let alone songs I used to play back in the day. Don't talk to me about squat. I've come fresh from the gym, so my legs are sore. Who else do we have? Sacred Godslayer with some great observations regarding remembering stuff that he learned 25 years ago, but failing to remember the stuff he studied recently. So he forced himself into studying easier stuff and make it a repertory. I like that, like a repository of repertoire. Very cool. Being sure to revisit stuff once a week. I've learned revisit the stuff that you've learned in the past once a week. We like that a lot. Great news from Mike Seedorf right now. This makes me really happy. Mike, I'm so glad for you, man. It says, good afternoon, Nick, and everybody else who is here for another awesome lesson. That's very kind. Update on my daughter. She's in PT and doing good. Thanks to everyone for the prayers and support. Man, I'm over the moon for you, right? I'm over the moon. Wishing her a speedy recovery. Amazing news. Amazing news. Response audio. Absolutely agrees with me, rightly so. David Laird is first in the he's a second-time viewer, rather. Second-time viewer. David, it's lovely to have you on, man. Thanks for joining us. Chris A is in the house, says, more Bon Jovi album videos, please. From an annual subscriber, love your website. That's something that we will pay attention to because I myself, big Bon Jovi fan, right? Love the Jovi from when I was a kid. Man, yeah, I'm down for it, right? Danny's kind of got his name all over that stuff, but if he doesn't want New Jersey, maybe I'll do it. Who knows? Anyway. We'll say some more quick hellos and then we shall get into the meat because we've got lots of stuff. Mal Riley's in the house. Matt Brody Photography is in the house too. Great to see you. Block 18 is here. Dreams is here. Chris Davies is here. Fran says, nice guitar. Thanks, man. This is my first PRS. This is my #1 PRS. I don't play it as often as I should because I always feel like I play this guitar a lot. In reality, I play it very rarely. It just sort of sits there. And I look at it and go, well, you get played all the time, so I'm going to play the other guitars. But actually rarely gets played, and I'm happy to bust it out because it's a beautiful guitar. Peter Montague is here with a very kind comment. Appreciate you. Raphael is here. I think I'm beyond getting it right now. Kate Strange in the house says he's almost embarrassed to show my face, almost embarrassed to show her face rather, because it's been so long. But I've had a few health issues. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. Hope everything's resolved itself for you, and it's lovely to have you back. Don't worry about going away for a while. It's totally okay. As long as you come back, we're happy. Jeremy Ross is in the house. Jeremy, great to see you. I think we've said hello to everybody. I think we have said hello to everyone. But we've got some cool observations coming in. We've got a lot of folks telling us which channel they're watching on. It's a bit of an even split. We like a bit of that. My man Ian Fraser's in the house. Ian, it's great to see you. Shreddies for breakfast. You know it. You know it. Okay, so anyway, let's get into the meat of the session, which is why you may be struggling to learn songs or struggling to remember songs, I guess, more than learn songs. So here is what I think here is where I think the core of the problem lies, rather. I think for a lot of folks, and stop me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think I am. For a lot of folks, when we learn songs, what we tend to do is we tend to maybe grab the tab, right? I'm not saying tab is bad. We're not going to go on that rant again. Tab is not bad. Tab is your friend. But maybe we go on the tab and maybe we sit and we learn the songs, pouring one note over another. Let's take an example of a riff. Now, I was chatting to Stuart Shields about this earlier on. Shout out to Stu Shields, who has put all of the promo together for all of these streams. If you get any emails, it's from Stu Shields, right? He does all this sort of stuff. But let's take, for example, a song like let's take Crazy Train, because we were talking about Mr. Crowley. But let's say, for example, we wanted to learn the riff from Crazy Train, right? And we wanted to learn this. Easy peasy, right? Not a dreadfully hard riff, I am sure. I'm sure, right? So I'm guessing most of you know this. But maybe what we did in the learning process, maybe early on in your learning process, you would have sat and you would have gone, okay, what is it? It's 2, and then 2, and then what do we have? We have a 4 in the next string, and it's 2, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 4, 2. Every note in this is an island. Every note is an event. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but that's not how I think about songs. It's not how musicians that have to learn lots of music for performances on the regular think about songs. And I don't think it's how you should think about songs. You have to excuse me 1 second. I'm just going to very quickly refocus this camera because it is coming in and out of focus and it is driving me absolutely batty. Let's see. That is a little better. Let's just get it really, really nice for you guys. This is stuff I shouldn't rely on autofocus, really. Being lazy. There we go, that's much better. This guitar is now in crisp, lovely 4K detail. So, as we were saying, right, every note in this instance, we think about as like a single event. We think about each note as its own thing. I don't think about songs that way, and I don't think you should either. Now, let's take the next part. We might take the riff where we go. Now, over here, we may think about this chord as our A. We might think about this chord as, what do I need to play? I need to play 5, 4, and then what is that? 6, and then 3, 2, 4 for dramatic effect. And then we need to do what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, That is fine when this stuff is loaded freshly into your, let's say your mental RAM, right? Into your short-term memory. But it's not a great way to recall this stuff because when we recall songs, when we have to play them in front of people, let's say, we can't really rely on this because it's a lot of information to recall at any one time. And it's not how I think about this stuff. And again, it's not how, I don't want to use the term the pros because that's very nebulous, but it's not how the pros learn these songs. So here's a way that I might conceptualize this. When I'm learning a song like Crazy Train, let's say, I'm going to conceptualize that riff, first of all, by taking a look at the pattern that it's played in, and I'm going to see what's going on there. The first thing I'll see is that it's down here on position number 2. Okay, that's fine. And it uses these frets. 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5. Well, immediately, I have some alarm bells going off in my head, and I'm going, I recognize that pattern. That, to me, looks an awful lot like F-sharp Aeolian, right? And I'll recognize that as an F-sharp Aeolian scale, something I've played 1,000 times. It might be A major, it might be lots of these, it might be B Dorian, but I'm going to assume, until I hear otherwise, that it is an F-sharp Aeolian. And then what I'll hear is that we've got a little pivot tone that we keep coming back to, which in this case is that low F sharp. So immediately what I have here is I have this concept of the first half of the riff that's basically 2 pieces of information. It's F sharp Aeolian, little pedal tone. And that's what I think about. I think about pedal here, here, and here. That is 3 pieces of information to recall, rather than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It doesn't sound like a huge difference. Believe me, in the heat of battle, this is massive, because I can recall that instantly. I can just think about it and go, what does that riff go like again? And there it comes, right? This is why we're able to recall this stuff immediately. I want you to think about any riffs that you know that you can do this with, where you can describe it to yourself in essentially as fewer words as possible. This, friends, is in a nutshell, this is music theory, right? Music theory, I want to talk to you about what music theory is and what music theory isn't. Music theory is not a set of rules that you have to adhere to when you play. That is not what it is. Music theory is a language for describing music. That's basically it. We describe music. The music is the thing. The theory is our description of it and some observations about how things typically relate. But what this enables us to do is it enables us to give names to things. It enables us to give short names that equip us to remember things. Here's what I'm going to do as an example. Here's my guitar, right? If I wanted to describe this to you in simple terms, you being a guitar player who knows what this guitar is, I could say to you, it's a red PRS Custom 22, it's a stop tail, 3-way toggle, and I changed the pickups. And you know exactly what I mean by this guitar. If you did not know what a guitar is, if you had no concept of a guitar, I could say, well, this is an object that's about as wide, if not slightly wider, as my rib cage. It's almost an hourglass in shape. It's made of wood, 2 kinds of wood. The wood, actually 3 kinds of wood, because the long part that houses the strings is made of a different kind of wood entirely. We've got a rosewood, which is a brown wood on the front, and then mahogany, which is also a brown wood on the back, but you wouldn't know because it's painted red. Oh my God, right? Like, have you forgotten the first bit yet? Because I have. This is what's happening when we learn songs as a series of notes that we have to memorize, right? This is a little like those people who have the magic trick of memorizing pi, let's say, the number pi, P-I. You ever noticed how people memorize pi to crazy degrees, right? Crazy lengths, but you ask them to recount any other irrational number and they can't, because it's just memorized. It's not that these people are amazing at recalling irrational numbers. They've just got a long series of numbers committed to memory. That's basically what a song is, right? I mean, if you think about how many notes are in a song, how many notes are in the song Crazy Train? We'll include chords as individual notes. It's insane. It's crazy amounts of work. If you have to memorize them one after the other, my goodness, right? Like, how do you have room in your memory for anything else? It's like these people, again, who memorize pi to 1,000 decimal points. Same thing with Crazy Train in this instance. So what should we do instead? Well, we should form, as we talked about, little theories about what each part of the song is, and try and encapsulate rather a big image, and capture a big image in your mind of this song. Let's go back to the verse from Crazy Train and let's talk about what that might look like as far as a big picture. I want you to think about how you can describe this to yourself in as few words as possible. We have this shape. We have the all right now shape. You can call it that, that's fine. You can call it first inversion D if you want, but we can also think about it as the all right now shape. Or the Keith Richards shape, whatever the... Same thing, right? It's the reef shape. Great band, great song. But even still, we have that shape, we've got it here, and we've got it here. So we've got A, we've got this, and we've got this. In between, picks. We do this. You can think about this as essentially 3 events. 1, 2, 3. And we're back to the start. That is really simple. Really, really simple to remember, in comparison to remembering each one of these as individual moments. Now, we're going to highlight this one very quickly, right, because that is a very sad comment. I'm sorry to hear that, man, but hey, listen, if you got your guitar, you're here with us, you're among friends. Don't forget, help us out there. Anyway, just wanted to highlight that because I wasn't going to leave that unsaid. We're not going to dwell on that any further, but you're among friends here, don't forget. Anyway, so we've got a little series of events here, but let's go a little bit deeper with this. Let's go a little bit deeper because those shapes are all fair and well. They're absolutely fine. And they're great for recalling the song Crazy Train on the hop. But let's go a wee bit further with this. Let's go a bit further with our thought experiment. You're going to play with your band, right? You're out there with your band. Your band is going, let's play some songs together. You got your first gig, you've put your set together, you're playing High But Hell, and you're playing Thunderstruck, and you're playing Bad Moon Rising, and you're playing all these great rock songs that everybody loves, and then somebody comes up to you with a massive wedge of money and goes, my favourite song in the whole world is Crazy Train. I love Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. Please will you play Crazy Train? I will give each one of you £200, the equivalent of in your local currency. I'm a wealthy business magnate. £200, nay, £500 to pay Crazy Train for each member of your band. And the singer's looking at you going, yes, that's going to pay for my gearbox oil change. Can you tell that's on my mind? It's going to put tires in the car. It'll put food on the kids' table, etc. Let's do it, right? And you go, oh no, I can't possibly recall Crazy Train. Well, if you have this brief understanding of how this stuff works, but you also have a cursory understanding of music theory, you can recall this pretty simply. Now, I would be able to recall Crazy Train by thinking in my mind as, well, it's in A, and we go, okay, it's digga digga A, digga digga E, digga digga D, digga digga A. If I get it a bit wrong, if I go like this, does it sound like Crazy Train? Yep. I'm probably already getting it a bit wrong. There's probably nuance. There's loads of ways you can play it, right? I could play this. Oh. It's actually harder. But I could play it like that. It's still the song. The rest of it is detail. I've had this happen to me recently. Right, I was playing with a band that a friend of mine plays guitar for, Mickey Crystal, fabulous guitar player, love him to death. Play with his band every once in a while. Big shoes to fill, let me tell you, right? And his band are great. We play rock stuff. But let's say, for example, we were playing. Oh, we're going to highlight this as well. Thanks, guys. It's been a horrible couple of months. I'm really I'm really sorry to hear that, man. I got my words mixed up. But hey, listen. Come join us. We love having you here, right? We're glad you're here to hang out. And of course, if you want to speak this stuff out loud, do. It helps to talk. Anyway, so, talking about Crazy Train. We're not doing Crazy Train, but I got a song sprung on me that I hadn't rehearsed. It was, oh, well, let's do Carry On Wayward Son. I'm like, oh, was that on the set list? It was not. I did kind of know it. I kind of knew it, but I didn't know it super well. But I knew that it was an A, and I could hear it as this, okay, it's ba 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 da 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 da. Okay, right, cool. Well, I kind of know what's going on there, so if I get my distortion sound on, I could play, it's an A. I checked this by asking the bass player. I went, song's an A, right? And he goes, yep. And I could hear in my mind, okay, it's probably minor pentatonic. So right away, what did I do? I went to my minor pentatonic shape. Right, cool. That's minor pentatonic. What's the next one? Same, only higher. So I can think about that riff not as 5 3 5 3 5 3 5 5. I think about it almost as these shapes. I think about it as this little L shape here. That's one event. That's also one event. Cool. And I know from there, that's a riff I've played 1,000 times. That's Crosstown Traffic. So I go, okay, so it's Crosstown Traffic. And that's the inverse Back in Black. But I also know that that outlines a G power chord and a D power chord in an inversion, an inverted D dyad. So I was able to kind of get this in my head very quickly. And I also thought to myself, well, there's an organ part in there. And it's... And I thought, well, it'd be cool to play that, wouldn't it? So, what am I playing? A little bit of rehearsal, there we had it. I'm not saying you have to play the organ part. I was a little bit quick on the pedals there, and I can get the rotary thing on for... And away we go, right? I kind of nailed it in the rehearsal room and it sort of worked for me. When it came to the verses, I'm like, okay, what's going on with the verse? My goodness, right? Well, I know that it's in A minor and then it goes to D minor. And I remember that from when I first learned it. I did not remember the chord shapes that I played, but I remember that it was A minor, and it was quite a familiar little movement. So it was like A minor, G, ba, ba, a movement I've seen 1,000 times. I went, okay, well, let's do that. It's probably there. Okay, that's nice. Then it goes to D minor. It's the same movement as this. But it hangs there a little bit longer. And then, what do I go to? Well, I recognize that 4 chord because I've played it a whole bunch of times. Now, you might be going, that's nice, Nick. It's cool that you can do that. How do I get to this stuff? Well, we get to that, but we're also going to throw a little bit of love to our new brother here, right? Real quick. So it says, I've always been happiest around musicians. Unfortunately, I gave up playing due to severe depression and dissociation. I realized I wasn't any good. I want to extend a formal invitation from the guitar community to you to pick your guitar up, right? Pick your guitar up. The guitar is always there for you, but also I want you to remember that, and this is very important, this goes for everybody watching, right? We're breaking flow here, but this goes for everybody watching. I want you to remember that the guitar is not a competition. You are not here because you have to be good at it. You are here because you like it and because you enjoy doing it. I want you to try and separate, if you can, your enjoyment of the guitar from your perceived level of skill. You'll get better as you practice, but that's not the point. We're here because we like it, right? Nobody ever picks up the guitar and goes, guitar looks like a lot of fun. I can't wait to practice until I'm really good. No, people go, I can't wait to play a song. I can't wait to make some music on the guitar. That's all there is to it, right? Don't be misled by the barrage of guitar players on social media giving you all of these big licks and all that sort of stuff. Learn some songs, do some things that are within your grasp, take joy in the fact that you're able to make music. That's all there is to it, man. That is all there is to it. Beyond that, if you want to get a little bit better, we're here for you. But we're really happy you're on board, and we hope to see you here every week, right? Don't you forget, you've always got a home here. Now, anyway, and also in the Discord, join the Discord, right? Marcin set up a Discord for this. Can you believe that, right? This is community. We love a bit of that. So anyway, moving on, right? Moving on. Stick with us though, right? Because we're happy that you're on board. So here's the question then. It's like, hey Nick, how do I get those skills that you just talked about? These skills to be able to take a song and go, well, I know what that is, and I know what that is, and I know what that is. First of all, to be able to do this, we need a rudimentary grasp of music theory. And by rudimentary, it can be quite rudimentary. Now, music theory, again, is not a difficult thing to learn. I wouldn't suggest. People want to make it difficult, and they want to frame it like some kind of set of laws that must be obeyed. But that's not what it is. What music theory is it's a set of descriptions. It's a set of ways that we can remember how to musically get from one place to another, how to recall our playing or recall the things that we're trying to play easily and quickly, if that makes sense. Learning a little bit about this will greatly improve your capacity to learn and recall songs, because you'll be able to associate songs with theoretical concepts. It sounds like big words, not big words. You'll be able to associate songs with simple concepts. Think about this, right? Think about going to a location that you know well. Let's imagine that there's a particular coffee shop that you like, right? And you are finding a way to this coffee shop. You don't necessarily need to know what the names of the streets are that you go down to get to your favorite coffee shop. But it's quite easy for you to find that coffee shop. It's quite easy for you to find it because you've been down that road, you know exactly where it is. I'm sure you can envisage a certain place in your mind right now that you might be able to walk to, and you might be able to give simple directions to somebody else. You have a theory in your mind, you have a theory of the route to that coffee shop. This is what music theory is. We develop little understandings, little ways of thinking and codifying and naming musical ideas that allow us to recall them quickly later. So let's take the example of the chord progression from Carry On Wayward Son, from the verse. The chords as they are played are this: 7, 5, 5, 5, 5, 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 5, 4, 3, 4. But that's not what they are. What they are is A minor, G, and F. A minor, G, F, G, A minor, G, F, G. That's the chord progression. That's it. That is it, right? Oh, we got another comment. Hey, listen, we'd love to have you back. You're welcome here anytime, man. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you very much. Okay, so there are chords. Isn't that lovely? That's nice. That's what this is about, man. This is a little community. This is why I say we hang out and talk about the guitar, right? This is my favorite thing about this. Nick Harrison saying, all along the Watchtower. It totally is, right? How many songs do you know that have that? That little movement in them, right? It's somebody mentioned Breaking the Law earlier on, and it's like, that's the song. It's what does Breaking the Law go like? It's dude. What's the chorus go like? It's got that stuff in it, right? What else do we have? It's All on the Watchtower, as Nick mentioned. Whatever it goes like. You get the gist. Why was I able to do that? Well, same thing, right? I have a little theory of, oh, it's minor pentatonic, and I know what note there is. Sacred Godslayer says every other Iron Maiden song. For sure, demonetized. We're definitely getting demonetized with all these covers, let me tell you. Every other Iron Maiden song is Fear of the Dark, right? That's a set of movements we've heard 1,000 times. If we hear those movements and we know what they are, it's Sultans of Swing. It's so many songs, right? So if we have a little theory about that, we go, okay, well that move of like here, down to, if we add one more at the bottom, it's being referred to as the Andalusian cadence, which is a very nice way of putting it. But that little set of movements we can hear, and we can go, well, if it's those movements, we can probably safely assume that this one's minor and the other two are major. Why? Because every time we hear it, that's what happens. We've got All on the Watchtower, minor, major, 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 minor, minor, major. At no point did I go, it's 11, 9, 9, 9. At no point did I even go, oh yeah, it's C sharp minor, right? C sharp minor, and then B minor, and then D minor. It's in C sharp Aeolian. Didn't need to know that. Just needed to know it was this move, minor. I already know it's minor, major, and major, unless I'm proven otherwise. Where's it go from there? That's... How did I know it was that? Same thing, right? Same thing, right? So this little theory nugget, this little nugget of theory is where this little part of memorization from Carry On Wayward Son comes from. So if we know it's that, and we know it starts on A, well, we could play something, right? Imagine we're say, doing that verse that, what's the lyric? Once I rose across the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse beyond this illusion. I need to warm my voice up if I'm going to sing, but you get the idea. I was soaring ever higher. And on we go. But I flew too high. We get to that. I love this song, by the way, right? Just a great song. So, so what we've got is we've got A minor, G, F, G. You can play along with this, I'm sure, right? So A minor, G, F, G. Let's try it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. A minor, G, F, G. Doesn't matter which ones you use, we're kind of there, right? Again, we'll do the verse together. I'll sing this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once I rose across the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse beyond this illusion. I think those are the lyrics. I don't know for sure, but I think those are the lyrics. We can then drill down into them. We can go, well, actually, it's these triad shapes. And when we're actually recalling this stuff, it's just like, we're just recalling on these little nuggets that we have learned in two little parallel paths. We've learned it as concepts in music theory. We've practiced our triads. But there are also concepts that we know from songs. So we might have played these triad shapes before. You might have played, for example, similar triad shapes in, of all things, Crazy Train. Or you might have played All on the Watchtower. Whatever it goes like. I love playing this guitar, my goodness. I'm going to play this guitar more often, right? It's working with me, put it that way. So anyway, we recognize those. We can go, well, it's just those ones. If you know others, you can reach for those too. You might have played Stairway to Heaven. Do you get the gist? So what we're doing here is we're recalling previous knowledge that we formed theories about. But they don't just have to be theoretical concepts. No, no. This is kind of where I'm getting at with this, is they can be concepts that you've pulled from other songs. So you can recognize bits from a song and go, wait a minute, that's that. I recognize that. That comes from that other song. You don't necessarily need to give it its formal name. It can be important, but you can just recognize it as, oh, well, that's that movement from that song. So let's take, for example, the act of learning the song Hammer to Fall by Queen, where we go. And then all those other little versions, or whatever that bit goes like. We'll get to that. I played in a band. I should know what that bit goes like. I usually just make it up with those chords, and it normally kind of works. So what do we got? We got this. We all know what the A chord is. What's this? Well, it's a first inversion D, Nick, I hear you say, just like in Crazy Train. Think about how many songs you know that use that shape. Ever learned All Right Now? That's one. That's it, right? What other songs do we know? Well, we talked about Place Your Hands before. It's in drop D. I don't have a low D string, but you get the gist. It's Brown Sugar. Always get that one wrong. Guessing there. It's something along those lines. It's Running with the Devil. So what do we think about this as? This shape here? Well, we can think about it as lots of things, but realistically, you can think about it as the All Right Now shape, or the Keith Richards shape, whatever you want to call it, right? That makes sense. What it actually is a first inversion D chord down here. If we play it from this, what it is it's the 4 chord relative to this chord. It's a baked in 1/4 movement. So if that's a 4 chord, move it up 2 frets, we've got a 5 chord. Same thing up here. On Running with the Devil. That little movement there, 4/1. You could call it a plagal cadence if you want, but it doesn't really matter. We're recalling this as something from that song. Now, what does this require of us? Well, it requires of us to actually pay attention when we're learning songs to what's actually happening in said song. Can we give it names? Can we make observations about particular songs? Can we go, oh, that's that thing from that song, and I recognize that little thread from this other song? So take the songs you already know and consider what's actually being played there. Take a look at Crazy Train, for example, and consider it not as a series of notes, but consider it as a figure in the F sharp, in the F sharp Aeolian first box position. Take a look at the solo from Mr. Crowley, for example, right? We're talking about Ozzy. That was one of the songs that came up in our conversation with Stu Shields earlier on. The solo from Mr. Crowley, right? What does that go like? Well, the first one, hey, ooh, hello, there we go. I've got my call splits on, so the amp is going to scream at me. The first bit I can just kind of bluff. I can go, right, okay, well, it's kind of a blues thing, which I recognise from loads of songs. We've played that thousands of times. And this bit, let me get that right. Maybe need to start higher. That makes sense. I can play it in all sorts of different positions, but what are we doing? Well, it's D minor pentatonic. How do I know it's D minor pentatonic? Well, the song's in D. Also, it's this chord progression. That same chord progression. So it's in D. I recognize this as minor pentatonic descending in groups of 3. I did not need to learn, because I didn't. I just learned this for a band, for a gig. Had never actually learned the solos before, much to my shame. And I recognize this figure. I didn't need to go, okay, it's 13, 10, 13, 10, 13, 10, 13, 10. What did the first bit go like again? Didn't need to do any of that. Whatever it goes like from there. I could sit and learn it, and I probably will. It's along those lines. Now, of course I can refine that. Of course I can get deeper with that. But that first little figure was quite easy for me to recall because I had a little bit of a theory for it. I had this little potted mental theory of, okay, it's this. So when I was called to do a fill-in gig with very short notice, I was able to learn this stuff, relearn this stuff, get it back into my memory banks very quickly, even though I hadn't played it for months and months and months, because I could understand the fundamental theory behind it. Now, obviously, I needed to brush up on some of those other bits, like the bits I was struggling over there. That's more because I'm going, what does that go like again? And I would need to relearn my little mental theory of that. But that's how this works. And it's this lovely little circular thing where you learn a song, you take some time to appreciate the song as I'm not going to say a theoretical construct, but you take some time to appreciate what's actually going on in the song. Then you take those little insights, and when you see those things crop up in other songs, you go, ooh, that's that thing from that song. Cool, right, I know what that is. That's dead easy. And you start to have this, this little set of movements in your mind, let's say, or this set of tools in your mind that you can recall very, very quickly, because then it makes the song quite easy to recall. You go, oh, it's just that plus that plus that. Okay, that makes sense. We're going to answer some questions. I'm sure you have them. If you've got questions, drop them down below. We've got a couple of good ones. I'm going to get on a few of them, right? A few of them. Here is a great comment from Nick Harrison. We love a bit of that. He says, this is a superb stream. That's very kind of you. I really appreciate that, man. He says, this is the greatest advert for learning an instrument by learning actual music rather than caged or cages. Even, please don't learn cages, but you get the idea. Sure, 100%, right? If you want to learn a song, you want to learn music, we're here to play music. That's what we're doing, right? We're playing music. We're not doing some kind of Olympic sport here. We're not playing guitar gymnastics, although if you listen to my guitar playing, you'd be forgiven for thinking otherwise. But, you know, oftentimes I'm just playing while I'm reading the comments and making sure a live stream's going. So you'll have to forgive me. Here is a really cool observation, though. I really like this from, just going to quickly find this, from Mal Riley, saying, you can take these chord progressions / melodies and modify them to make your own songs. Absolutely you can. 100,000%. I also ask you, right, we would be foolish not to think that, say, for example, we take, I don't know which one came first, but let's take the examples of the songs White Room and All Along the Watchtower. Now, I know it's a Bob Dylan song, right? And I know it's a Hendrix cover, but we'd be foolish not to spot the similarities between this and this. That's pretty freaking similar, right? This is called taking inspiration, right? Songs are almost never, I'm going to throw this out there, almost never entirely unique compositions. Because every combination of notes that we're ever likely going to play that actually sound halfway worth listening to have been played 100,000 times in 100,000 different settings. And you hear it among contemporaries, among musicians who, you know, they're contemporaneous to each other. They are maybe part of a scene, right? Think about how bands from scenes all kind of sound quite similar. Let's take the further example of Cream, where we have maybe Crossroads. Wherever it goes from there. This. Think about how many Led Zeppelin songs that represents, right? It's just so many. Tons. Little bonus trick, by the way, in case you guys didn't know, when he's playing that song, that D note sounds so spectacular because he's playing the open D string as well. So it's 5 and the open D string. And bending, that D slightly out of tune. Just so many songs come from tons of them, loads and loads of songs came from, well, it's basically the bottom end of the pentatonic scale. So yes, you absolutely can and should take these songs, progressions, melodies, modify them to your own evil ends. Lick Library is a DVD called Play Your Own Rock Solos and Write Your Own Rock Songs. I recommend them. You should do that, right? It's a very, very, very cool DVD, right? Go check that out. It is available on licklibrary.com. Here's a question from Stacey Douglas, right? Yes, from Stacey Douglas, saying, any tips on remembering licks? 100% Stacey, we got you. So let's talk about some slightly more complex licks that maybe might require a bit of thought. Let's take, I don't know why this is the one that's coming to my mind, but let's talk about, for example, one of the tapping licks from Get the Funk Out by Extreme. In case you don't know it, the tapping in question might go something like this. Wrong key. Little tricksy, let's do that again. Needs to be a little more warm for that, but you get the gist. Now, what on earth is that lick, right? Well, how do you remember it, first of all? Well, let's conceptualize this lick. Rather than thinking about, I'm going to hide your comment, Stacey, but it's a great question. Rather than thinking about, okay, it's 15 off to 8, hammer on to 10, 15, 9, 10, 13, 6, 10, 13, 6, 10. Nope. What we think about is we think about this. What is that? It's a B flat. There's the B flat note. There's the chord it comes from. Well, what have we got here? We've got a B flat. There's our third. So there's our fifth, we're going to move it here. So instead of this, we've got this. Now we've got this idea. We've also got one here. We've got a little left-hand shape. We can see that shape. We can give it a name. It's B flat add 9. Where are we tapping? Well, okay, what do we got? So first of all, it's here, it's here, it's here. How do I remember those? Well, I could remember 15, 15, 13, or I could go, well, it's in B flat, there's a B flat. So it's same fret as the root, but a string down, root note, 2 frets back, 2 strings up. I could think about it as 5th root, 5th root, 5th. As far as the sequencing, there's 2 sequences going on here. The first one is the eruption sequence, which goes high, low, middle. Same thing in the next string. Same here. And then we do it backwards. Then it's hammer, tap, hammer, pull off, hammer, tap, hammer, pull off. Again. So all I'm thinking of when I'm playing this lick is the shape, where it relates to the root notes. There's a root note, there's a root note, and the little sequences in between. Am I playing it perfectly cleanly? No, because I haven't practiced it in a while. And Nuno is the man, and I'm probably trying to play it too fast as well. I know what's next, these. Now, even though I haven't played that solo in at least 12 months, probably longer, probably more like a good few years, I'm able to recall it reasonably well because I have concepts for what each one of the little licks does. This concept here... what's it go like? Well, that's this shape, descending in 4s. I recognise the shapes. Recognise that bit because it's root, 4, major 7, flat 7. Recognise that bit as a blues phrase. There's also another bit that's all chromatic, and you get the gist, right? So it's finding little categorizations and concepts for these licks, these little ways that I can recall it and go, it's that. It's a thing, it's a single entity in my mind. Hopefully that makes sense. Nick Harrison says, slow. Yep, slow it down, for sure, 100%. Or maybe he's accusing me of being slow, which right now he wouldn't be wrong, but I have just come from the gym, and it is competition deadlift day today, so my hands mince. Anyway, I'm joking, Nick, I'm only kidding. Live to play guitar says, hey, Nick, I struggle with remembering the structures of songs. I have to stop using tab. It's messing with my memory. Yes, okay, so this is exactly what I'm talking about here. It's... using tab is great, but tab only gives you the micro of the song. It only shows you the song as a sequence of notes. It can't even impart rhythmic information, right? So we can't even sight read it. But it gives you, well, you can do rhythm tab, I guess. That's a bit, you could. Rhythm tab is awful. by the way. It's just horrendous. What a terrible bastardization of two useful concepts. Anyway, so if you're going to sight read, just sight read. Anyway, maybe I'm being purist there. Who knows? So, what am I saying? Yes. So, tab gives you the micro. It gives you the series of notes that form up a song. But a series of notes that form up a song is like having a series of atoms that form up a person, right? The song is not the series of notes. The song is the whole. And unless we start with some big picture idea of the song, i.e., what is the song called? Who is it by? What does it sound like? What do the lyrics say? What's the melody? Can I sing it? Can I sing the guitar part? Can I hear it in my head? Unless we start there, I'm not going to say we're doomed to fail, but it's a lot of work that we're putting on ourselves, let's say. So yes, I think you're absolutely right there, and I would agree. We got lots of calls for Nick Harrison to start a YouTube channel. Nick, I've told you enough, right? I've told you enough about this. Okay, here's a great one from Jeremy Ross saying, watching the Lit Library page, out of curiosity, did you remember the strap product you bought from NAMM 2025? It was to instantly change strap height. Yes, I do. I do indeed. It's by Richter straps. That is what you want. I don't have it today. It's in my gig bag because it's the one I use live. And I also take away, I put my gig bag away in storage. I put my guitars out. I don't have gigs for about 14 days. So I'm like, gig bags in storage, guitars down in the studio, all is well with the world. And I forgot to take my strap out. So I'm using my backup strap today because I always wear a strap. But it's by Richter straps. I think it's their adjustable tailpiece. I'm not sure. But you'll find it on the website, right? Lars Richter, great guy. Great guy, very cool. You should go check that out. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful invention. Folks, we're running out of time, so I'm going to draw a line under this, but listen, that's been a lot of fun, right? I've really enjoyed hanging out with you guys today. I realized this was quite a talky stream, but hopefully, you found it useful. This is a little insight into the whole business of, very quickly, right? Let's take a moment and bully our friend Nick Harrison into starting his YouTube channel. So I just need to think about it. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to need to make it good. Nonsense, right? Nonsense. Go back and watch the first streams that we did. They're dreadful, right? The audio is bad. The visuals are worse. It's nonsense, right? Don't wait. Just do it. You'll get good as you go, right? Now, Nick has been a great mentor and friend to me. He's told me lots of things that I've ended up using on these streams, among other stuff, right? I've like shamelessly stolen from him, but I'll always give him credit. But in this instance, I am going to push back and go, don't be silly, just friggin' do it. The world needs it, and I want to see it, right? So anyway, listen, folks, I'm going to bid you adieu. My name's Nick Jennison. We do this every Monday. We've got all sorts of useful stuff for you. It is coming to you over the course. What am I trying to say? English is hard. We've got all sorts of good stuff coming your way this month. Before we go, got one last thing to tell you. Link down below. Go click on our free course of the month. It is Sam Bell's Pentatonic Explorer. Really cool course. Go get it. It's for free. It's available for free for members and non-members this month. I will see you guys next Monday. Let's play. And don't forget to join the Discord channel.